Welcome to Broken Backlinks, the podcast where we explore the maze of SEO with a dash of humor. Ever wondered why some links lead to treasure while others to nowhere? Join me and my guests as we navigate the digital sea. From stormy 404s to the sunny shores of page one, buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride, one broken link at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow SEO peeps, welcome to another episode of Broken Backlinks Podcast, brought to you by WhitePress and yours truly, the Dodgy Link Builder. Today, our third episode, and I've got the new kids on the block. Two guys I've got lots of respect for. They're literally smashing it when it comes to affiliate marketing, building their own websites, helping their clients all around the world, and living the high life. They've probably been a bit under the radar, so I take this as my responsibility to, unleash the two beasts, so to speak, James Oliver and Jamie. Guys, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us on.
Brilliant. Guys, I think it's only fair because this podcast, our audience is literally going to be global. Yes, in the English markets, everyone knows you really well. But for our folks in Poland or in Romania or Hungary or Sweden, I think it's only fair if each one of you literally for 30 seconds just tell a bit about your background, what you're currently doing. I think it'll only be helpful. So probably, James, do you want to start, mate?
Yeah, sure. So I've done affiliate marketing and SEO for the past 6 years, mainly building my own websites and starting in the mattress niche, but I've got probably 20 odd websites now. I own Oliver.com, and I basically me and Jamie have started a community as well, Conversion Collective, and that's pretty much it for the little 30-second soundbite.
Brilliant. Thank you, mate. Jamie?
Yeah, so back in the day it was mostly affiliate, ranking in some pretty competitive niches across like a bunch of different like areas and stuff like that. Now we still do some affiliate. We also we see like where like the intent's going for a lot of queries. So like, a lot of the stores that we're launching are like ecom focused, as well as building a variety of SaaS companies that I'm really excited about that we want to take over the game with. We're building the team up for that. And so now using the sort of digital stuff that we learned from like affiliate and ranking in these really competitive niches, parlaying those sort of marketing skills into SaaS. And now you're trying to come up with the SaaSes and as well as the e-com and affiliate side. Trying to taste it all.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. The landscape's changed this year. We're gonna delve deeper into the affiliate marketing bit a little bit, and then what your future plans are. But anyone who still says affiliate marketing was never that attractive or it's dead, just to let you know, my lovely audience, James right now is sitting in his luxury villa in Bali. Most of the proceeds came from his affiliate marketing. Jamie is building his own specific empire, but I'll let Jamie speak and describe a bit more in detail in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Gents, let's kind of jump into it straight away and talk about affiliate marketing. You two obviously have been one of the trendsetters, one of the leaders when it comes to affiliate marketing. Clearly, you've been really successful since all the updates which have happened, which have hit a lot of the affiliate sites. And I'll get both of your individual takes on that. James, what do you think? Everyone's saying affiliate marketing is actually dead. What's the reality, mate?
Well, definitely the income has been hit for a lot of my sites, and the sale price is down, which is what most people earn the money from. So most people earn it from the actual flip rather than holding on to the assets. My take was always building and then holding on for the long term. So I've earned a lot of money for very little capital input, and it still continues to earn money for me. It's not as good as before, but because I have a lot of sites, it's very diversified, so it doesn't affect me as much. I tried to stay away from like content heavy sites and go more the affiliate route, and that luckily was a better move in these recent updates than going the other way, which most people do.
Brilliant. Jamie, what's your take on this, mate?
still make a good living from affiliate, even though it's dead. So I'm not sure where that money came from, because it is obviously completely and utterly dead. But it's not as easy as it was. And a lot of sites that did the typical affiliate and ads monetization have been smacked because they're literally seeking, like, there's a heat seeker missile coming for these sites at the moment. So there's ways to do it, but you do need to be more delicate and treat it with more care. There's a lot of e-commerce sites ranking for affiliate intents now, so you've got to restructure the way that you hit those keywords. You can do it with, like, you can be an e-commerce site on the front face and still do some affiliate on the back end, and so that's some of the hybrid approaches that you can do now. But yeah, like at least from SEO, the affiliate game's got more difficult. There's more UGC in there, so there's a lot of people trying to get their comments into Reddit and other sort of stuff because there's just so much visibility for forums right now as well as e-commerce. So it's tougher. We still get a lot of traffic from Bing. And so, like, there's like some days we'll do 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 clicks a day onto really high competition, like affiliate terms, just on Bing, and you like DuckDuckGo and stuff. And so, if you can still get the right rankings for like high volume enough keywords, even if like you go to you ranking on search engines that don't have the sort of market that Google has, there's still a lot of profitability even on non-Google search engines, which I think people don't speak enough about on.
Correct. I think it's a lot of where successful affiliates probably who've been recognized in the industry, they've gone on and said something on LinkedIn talking about dropping in earnings or making it sound it's the end of the world. But I think, the truth's always in the middle where, okay, fine, you're not doing 7 figures anymore, MRR, but you're still doing 6 figures, mate. So clearly you're still minting it. I think it's one of those situations where you probably, the earnings have dropped 20%, but they've not been completely annihilated. And the reason I ask that question is I know when we release this episode, there'll be plenty of early adopters, the beginners within the world of affiliate marketing. And I want them to listen to you guys and kind of not give up on that thought that affiliate marketing is just, something completely dead and you can't make decent money out of it. Yes, of course, you need to tread carefully, for sure. We all know that. So yeah, thanks for that. I've got one question for you, James. Obviously, apart from the affiliate marketing, you do lots of SEO consulting services for brands all around the world. So what criteria do you use to determine the right clients for your SEO consulting services, and how do you ensure really that your strategies align with their specific business goals? And the reason I ask that, it again resonates with perhaps some of the SMEs who will be listening to this episode, because what happens is, because you're so desperate for revenue and profitability, you end up just taking anything and everything on board, and then you kind of burn yourself out within the next couple of years, or you're literally like a dog trying to catch its own tail. So if you had to kind of advise them based on the question I've asked you, what would be a perfect answer?
Yeah, so this is new for me, because basically I want to branch out and work on different sites and get in different industries like SaaS, e-commerce, rather than doing the pure affiliate and building my own content sites. So for me, doing this, I've always had a lot of time spared building this model, and I don't really want to take on clients which are going to use up that time on me always working. So I've done like a 78-point questionnaire, and if someone doesn't fill out like 80% of that questionnaire, they're not a good fit. I don't want to work with them if they're not like fully committed. So that's like the barrier of entry for me, just personally, because if I commit to a project, I want something which is going to be a right fit and someone who's actually invested in it. So I don't want to spend any time doing it, and that's just like the little barrier of entry for me to get rid of those sort of clients, to keep my time, basically.
Right. And in terms of servicing those clients now, do you already have a team in place, or are you trying to execute that just by yourself for now and see how things progress?
So over the past 6 years, I've hired a lot of freelancers and built I've got a few VAs and who work for me, and I've taught them all the aspects of managing my site and how to build the links, and I have separate people who build like Harrow links, etc. So it's basically just using that. And I've built a lot of SOPs in my own business, so it makes it a lot easier just to give to someone to transition to grow. So that's basically the concept. Having the SOPs, it saves so much more time. and then using my own team. And then if we expand to a certain level and get more clients, then just building the team out from there. But at the moment, it's just using my own team and resources for my portfolio sites.
Brilliant. And I'm assuming when it comes to going on sales calls, lead gen and all of that, you are the main person as a business leader. You're going into those calls, doing the negotiations, getting the contracts, closing the deals. Is that how it is?
All that is that, but I'm a very async person, so it's all Slack, emails, and that sort of communication. So that's what I want to go down. But obviously, you want to speak to someone and do a Zoom call before you initially start. But I set the precedence of that's how we're going to move forward with the just reporting and then all online communication to save time, really, so I don't have to jump on the call every week or month. Sure.
No, I agree, mate. I mean, as I Y-Press myself, when we go into calls, I've got to a stage after 2.5 years where managing expectations is very important, and then also asking the right questions very early. The only difference I probably have in my approach is, rather than them filling out a specific form, I just want to get them on a call, because sometimes it's a lot easier to connect and perhaps have a bit of flexibility on both ends. Because if we resonate as human beings, we like each other, then clearly the rule book goes out of the window, because you just like the bloke or you like the person and you still want to do something and make some adjustments. I'm not saying your ways is not the right way, because I do want to get to that point as well, because clearly you've got a very strong brand. People know you. So clearly you're in that space where you can just send out a form and say, mate, fill that thing up, otherwise fuck off. I'm not getting wasting 15 minutes of my hard-earned sunshine in Bali and talking to someone who's ready to spend 500 quid a month. So no, I get that. Moving over to you, Jamie. So obviously you've done really well in the world of affiliate marketing, but there have been rumors, mate. A little birdie has been telling me that you are about to do something quite spectacular within the world of, SaaS tools. I'm not sure if you want to discuss that, but I thought if you want to, then clearly Y-Press's podcast perhaps is the best platform in order to, give a bit of inside information. So yeah, feel free to say nothing's on the horizon, mate, but if you want to discuss it, go for it.
Sure. So at the peak of my powers at late 2022, when I was doing the most money I've ever made in my life, and I thought I was just going to make, millions a year forever and carry on stuff. I actually left the game. I went and did 4 days a week at SaaS because I wanted to learn how to build a real business. Because the thing about working online is I've never had a job before. I don't know how big businesses work. I don't know how these things function. So I wanted to learn it. So I took a CMO type role in a fast trend SaaS. Did all of the things, all the email, the affiliate program growth and everything else. And so now I feel pretty comfortable having done it in really going for and shooting for home runs. And the more I do lots of little projects and trying to grow all these little affiliate brands and stuff, it's fun, but I've done it now and I've built 7-figure stuff, and now I want to go for 8 and 9. And so yes, we're going for tens and hundreds of millions now. That's the plan, and I feel energized by it. It's nice to not have to divide your focus up into a lot of different projects. Just have 1, 2, 3 things that you can focus deeply on, be incredible at. And the SaaS game is so much funner. It feels more 3-dimensional than just content and links, and I enjoy them, the multifaceted, lots of different strategy, lots of building a team to cover lots of different ground, customers, real products, rather than just being a middleman. And so the first one we launched is an AI quiz tool. That one's out. You can still buy it now. It's called quizwizard.ai. It will take any blog, PDF, video, anything you need, and turn it into an interactive quiz that you can then use on your site and use it as a more user-friendly version of an email pop-up, because everyone hates pop-ups. They're all right, give me your email and I'll give you something boring. And now you get to do a quiz and get the answers and stuff. And so it converts better. It's more fun. So it's a win-win for your audience and for you to get emails. And we got some more stuff coming. I've got another sort of higher, more expensive one to do with affiliate programs. And that'll be cool once that comes out, as well as some link building stuff. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm ready to go. I think this is the year. I feel like I've done my time learning, and I've been working hard, and I'm still. Now it's the time to really take all those skills and both win on products and distribution on like the biggest markets possible and really go for it. And I'll kick myself if I don't go for it. So it's time to go for it.
I agree. No, mate, sounds really, really, really exciting. And yes, you're right. You are at the peak of your powers, both you and James, where you now want to pivot into something more greater, kind of scale that Mount Everest, whatever that Everest is, in your business strategy. I've obviously had fantastic times every time we've run into each other into conferences. I've spoken to guys within my community and my network saying that, these two lads, they're very nice, but fuck's sake, are they really, really sharp? So yeah, my audience again, guys, when both James and Jamie kind of they go big in terms of their new business ventures, I'll be happily sharing it on LinkedIn. So anyone wants wanting more information, yeah, surely you can connect to James and Jamie on LinkedIn. But if someone wants a bit of a personal recommendation, ping me. I'll make sure I'll make those introductions so I can get a cheeky gin and tonic out of it during the next conference.
Yeah, he's got an affiliate deal, but it's paid in alcohol and,
correct.
Yeah.
And other favors.
Exactly. I mean, why go through the entire process when the money I would earn would end up in alcohol anyways? Let's just jump to the end straight away.
Let's just cut out the middleman here. Yeah, let's get real.
Exactly. Money being the middleman here. Excellent. Right. Sticking to that bit, Jamie, and this next question is basically for both of you. Obviously, with AI now being such a big thing, mate, every week now I see everyone launching their own new SaaS tool with a massive AI integration. And even I'm beginning to get a bit overwhelmed where, hang on a second, there is not enough demand out there in the market for everyone to just come out and pivot into a SaaS tool. Now, I think it's one of those false housing market bubbles equivalent being built up, where I believe in the next 6 to 12 months, a lot of people would end up losing a lot of money because they've pumped a lot of capital into building these fantastic SaaS tools and all of that. Maybe even hire some sales team, their dev team in the background. But there's just too many tools out there now, where USPs, thinking out of the box, is vital, but I get a feeling that a lot of them are missing the point where are those tools really needed in the market? Have you done your market analysis? Have you had enough conversations, not with family and friends, but with real business communities or your target clientele where you actually spotted a gap in the market? And I wanted to ask this question to both of you guys. Have you seen that trend as well? And what's your opinion?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people forget that distribution usually trumps product. And this isn't to say don't focus on product, but it's never been more easy for a developer to be able to create the thing or the base MVP of a thing. But that's so different to like distributing it and getting the positioning right. And most people, and there's nothing wrong with this. It's just if you're a technical person, often that's a specific skill set and it isn't a marketing skill set. And so much of it is being able to position correctly. I'll give you an example. Charles Float is an excellent marketer. He gets involved after the original cuppa is bought for a fraction of what it even makes in a week now. But positioned correctly and marketed correctly, now that's a huge thing that's taken over the game because he understood the positioning of a bring your own key was the unique selling point versus monthly paid AI writers. An AI writer in itself, like you can build onto it, but it's pretty easy to build a default one. ChatGPT is one if you want to, go to that level. But positioned correctly and marketed correctly, it becomes this enormous thing. And so, yeah, like everyone can build whatever they want. It might not be good, it might not be positioned correctly, but there will be an exodus because I think that a lot of people, even in the niches that I operate in AI quizzes, there's a lot of these like ones that are similar, but they're positioned poorly. And I can see that they're not going to work in the long term because they're a developer who's spent a couple of days building something, put a nice, UI kit landing page on there and they're hoping for sales. And like that might work in the short term, but it's not going to build anything real tangible and like it's not defensible. And I think that they're positioning it all wrong. And so, it's never been easy to build, but it's never been harder to distribute because it's difficult to drive traffic and build brands to stuff. And that's where I want to come in. And my bet is that 1, I have a good sense of taste, and 2, that I can out distribute anyone.
Correct. I agree. It'll all boil down to, okay, who are those people who are actually leading that product development? Do they have that strategic vision? Are they really business-minded people, or they're just one of those wacky scientists sitting in their backyard creating tool after tool, but have got absolutely no idea how to actually market it and make money out of it? What's your opinion, James?
Well, it reminds me a bit of the affiliate marketing game, because like there's so many people, like when you go to like Chiang Mai, there's 800 people and there might be 10 or 20 in the casino trying to go after the same keyword. But the thing is, a lot of those people are still earning a lot of money, even though everyone's trying to target the same sort of products and everyone's can go after it. And it's a bit like this with the AI writers. There's so many different AI writers, but a lot of them earn quite a lot of money, and it just depends like what level you want to go to. Like what Jamie was saying with positioning, some people might be happy with like $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month and don't really care about getting any higher. So there's always a gap in the market for different levels of earnings if you build a tool. So even if it is very competitive, there's still room to get in there and earn X amount of money. And if you're happy with $2,000 a month for something that maybe took you a couple of weeks to build, it's great. So it's one of those, but yes, it's a lot easier to build. So there's definitely going to be popping up all over the place. Yeah.
I mean, us at WordPress, I'm being pitched for some of these new tools literally once or twice a day, and I keep just ignoring them. It's just too much to absorb, too much to look at. And I see so many similarities, and then I try and put myself into the shoes of their ideal client, and I'd go, well, hang on a second, mate, but you're clearly missing these features which actually does the job for me, and then your competitor is providing me those features at a fraction of a cost, not to mention all the other softer benefits, so to speak, where you get, I don't know, your account managers there, your payment terms are a lot more favorable and all of that. For me, it's quite simple. It. I'm still very early into the world of SEO, 2.5 years, but it's a good thing because I see things very differently. Because for me, it does not matter whether it's a website, whether it's affiliate marketing, whether it's a SaaS tool. For me, the logic's quite simple. The product or service you've created, is there a need in the market? Is there data to show there is enough market share for you to have? Then is your product or service linked to plug that gap in? And if that is, you then get your fantastic people on it to leverage your USPs to charge the top dollar after you've got through a certain trust stage or trust barrier, couple of months of delivering what you need to deliver, and that's how you scale it. And I think a lot of people miss that vision, which is actually not even a vision, mate. For me, that's just common sense. It's like us three going for a pub crawl on Krakow would clearly have it mapped out in the head, right? This is going to be the first one, the second one, and that's surely going to be the third club we're going to enter, because we'll be drunk enough to flirt more with a lot of local cuisine, so to speak. I think I'm going to be burnt. I use this word cuisine, but I might have to tell the editor to remove this word.
You can do that with Descript now. You can train it on your voice and just get it to say something else at that point.
Make it say something really PC.
Oh, right. I'm sure you guys heard that clip which Alex Hunky, as he calls himself, he did something after the Dubai event where I was being shown as a drug dealer from Colombia, where the drugs have just landed and people have to make those deals. I was like, well, and it did sound like me. I was really scared. Imagine if that would have went viral. But you know what? A lot of things can go viral within the next 2 months because there is so much out there on the internet. And after every conference, people are sending me videos or, cheekily saying, oh, listen, I want this DR50 link from your inventory free of charge. Otherwise, I know how to find your wife. Stuff like that.
What are you getting? I didn't realize that was an option. What's really going on at WordPress?
I've got loads of videos on my phone. I'm going to start leveraging them now.
I still have to repay a bit of debt to Jamie. He beat me in a game of beer pong in SEO Wives Poland, and I was texting him yesterday. Listen, how much did I promise you? And thank God he was being honest, because if I was a typical if this was me being me as a sales guy, I was like, clearly the guy doesn't remember what he promised. I would have just gone fuck all and said, you actually promised me $2,000. You don't remember? After the third toss I did and I won my fifth point, you said it's going to be 2,000. And clearly I would have had said yes to it because I don't remember anything. Yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So basically, for anyone listening, we played a life or death game of beer pong where if I lost, I'd spend $2,000 that day on WordPress, and if I won, I got 5 free links. So I'm looking forward to cashing those in and getting my winnings.
I know. I'm a man of my word. WordPress always delivers what it promises. So, apologies to Tom D, my boss. Sorry, boss. Relationships have to be maintained. So, yeah, we'll talk about. I'll repay everything back to WordPress in additional revenue and profitability. Don't worry.
There we go.
Right, gents. We were at the top of the recording. James was talking about SOPs and all of that. And that's, again, a question very relevant to both of you, because you clearly would be getting into and pivoting into new business ventures out there. So, in your experience, what are the most critical components of an effective standard operating procedure for online businesses, and how much do they really contribute to operational efficiency and future freedom? James, you want to perhaps start?
Yeah, sure. Well, I would say the biggest factor of contribution to freedom, to time freedom, because you just want to write every single stage and do it as basic as possible, and even shoot a video as well as a written document, so you have two different aspects to view it. And then that just just clears it off your plate, because now you don't ever have to touch that job ever again. It's done. Just obviously for the first few times to check that the person you're giving to is getting it right. But other than that, that's it done. So it's completely off your plate. So for me, they're very effective. You can even now just transcribe it with AI or use something like Mac Whisperer to actually just talk about it, or do the video and just get it transcribed. But for me, I do a video and then actually manually take screenshots and get images and write every step. Very detailed, and then it's done. Easy.
Yeah. Jamie, I'll ask you the same question, but in a slightly different way. Obviously, I'm not a spring chicken, and I've handled other multi-million pound businesses back in the UK, especially doing restaurants and wines. And SOPs were a big thing in there just because of the volume of the business, the complex service cycles we had, the food costs, the food going out in a specific way, the cocktails, drinks, you name it. However, every point on any SOP document was very closely aligned to the revenue and profitability you're trying to achieve. Not just because it has to be a process or you saw someone else doing it, that's why you've got to do it as well. Is that something you guys obviously factor in when you are planning your SOPs, where no matter what you do, it needs to be result based and result focused, which is just the numbers. And do you see a lot of other young business entrepreneurs falling into the trap of, I'm going to create an SOP, but it actually has got no relevance to the business. So it just ends up becoming a process, eating up into the time of doing something which is not bringing any monetary value back to the business?
Yeah. So first, most of my time now is literally just then putting these SOPs together. As I try and delegate myself out of so much of the lower value stuff and make sure that it can be done without taking my time up, is what I spend the majority of my day doing now. And I think that for too long I spent too long being in the process too much, and now it's just how can I buy back my time, especially I'm in a business coaching group, and the number one thing is the same thing that Jason Hennessy spoke about in Vietnam, his talk, in that you've got to figure out your value and then work out how much you'd pay someone else to do that and then get it gone. So yeah, absolutely. And with Loom's AI SOP generator now, it can transcribe your videos and make them into step-by-step things, which usually the most important with things is that they cover everything and they're granular and they're really clear, so you can't misinterpret anything. Loom can make that, so it used to take an hour to manually write up a video to make sure it was super clear. Now you've got the base in there, and it's not ready because it will miss things, especially if it's like technical and like pretty niche and nuanced. But now it will reduce that from an hour to maybe 5-10 minutes to just fill in the gaps on that SOP with the AI SOP generator that Loom has. So that's been a real time saver for putting stuff together. Also, like the SOPs need to be like cleverly like stored. Like we have a Notion that has all of them. We try and make it as like intuitive as possible so that anyone joining the team can find the specific SOP that relates to specific area. As for marrying it to like KPIs and like making sure that it translates into revenue, I've been too lax in the past about that, and so like VAs typically just had stuff to do, and like for formatting WordPress articles or whatever, there was never anything that was typically like, it was just like it was checked every now and then to make sure there was no mistakes. If there was feedback to improve it. But for like for example, when I've hired people to run websites, especially if for example, someone who used to run one of my sites who had upsides in like equity and stuff based on like hitting certain like for example, we had one site that was in like $1,000 a month when he took over, and when he got to $5,000 a month, he unlocked X amount of equity in that to try and make him motivated. He, as a person who was directly responsible for executing on SOPs and strategies that lead to revenue, had very closely tied goals. I mean, especially when it was equity based, right? Because that's him trying to get part of the business, directly related to how many newsletter subscribers, how well is this converting, how many new products are we delivering on Etsy each month, and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I need in the past when like everything was just so profitable, I didn't really ever like have to go to that level. And now the affiliate game isn't just wildly profitable; it's like more directly tied to make sure that I get maximum value out of every person on the team by tying those day-to-day executions into OKRs, KPIs, and revenue.
I agree because back in the day when I used to do all the file after file of SOPs, I always made sure, just rather than just giving the title, for example, I don't know, how to serve a glass of red wine to a guest on a table. But then after I had bullet pointed all the steps, at the bottom, I always used to write a little paragraph that why is it so important and connected to this cycle of service, and by not following that, what could be the potential revenue loss by just not following this. So that gave a bigger picture. Then what I noticed by doing that, people then stopped being robotic by just following that SOP like a robot. They started then having a lot of common sense into it because I wanted them to have that flexibility. So my job was to, yes, lay the law, but then also show them the bigger picture of what could happen if, you know what I'm saying? And then obviously I don't need to write it there, but they know loss of revenue means loss of profitability, which means their tips or their end of month commissions or end of the week commissions are being affected. And I think it all comes down to that, where do snippets of SOPs but not giving too much information. But I think everyone needs to have an access to what is the end goal of what you're trying to achieve, because we're all adults, and that's exactly what I tell my team. I keep saying, be like me, be a mini me, be a mini Steve, but that can only happen if you take risks, if you know what the end goal is. And I take that upon me, and I'm extremely transparent with my team. No matter every decision I'm taking, even a calculated risk, and I go in team meetings and say, guys, this is what I'm going to do. I know it's risky, but I think the return on it would be X, Y, and Z. Tell me if I'm being an idiot. We don't have to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? And then what I see is then they open up a lot, they present their own ideas, and then we just agree on a specific process, marry it with the existing SOP, quickly create another document to test that theory for the next quarter, and then review it at the end of that quarter and see, okay, what was the conversion? What's the revenue? What's the GP we got out of that? Can that be now connected into certain other aspects of our business, which might help, transferable skills, so to speak. So yeah, it's intriguing. How much can you achieve, and how much can you destroy by withholding information, so to speak?
Well, you mentioned that as well. I've had it before with like a barber's, and you'd go in and they'd give you a beer or a coffee depending on where you are. But this one would give you a beer, and I went in a couple of times. They'd give me a beer each time. Went in the third time, and they never gave me anything. And then that to me pissed me off because that's what you're supposed to get, and then you don't feel valued, so you go somewhere else. So if people don't actually follow the steps, especially if it's like client facing or stuff to do with conversion, and it's missed out, it can drastically impact revenue.
Mate, we were gobsmacked. So when I was still managing the brand called Gauchos in the UK, which is all about Argentinian steaks and wines. So we did a massive 6-month analysis and this was all factual, no head in the clouds crap there. One negative experience of a client in our restaurant made us lose £13,000 annual revenue. One, because the general trend is, which is factually proven, one human being having a bad experience in a restaurant, they go and talk about it to 10 other people. The effect of 10 is 4 people deciding not to visit that restaurant. And generally in the UK, as you know, people easily eat out 2 or 3 times a week. So if it's a table for 2 to 3 times a week, you calculate your average spend in that specific restaurant. Let's assume it's 100 quid per person. And you do all the maths. And we were shocked, like, shit, one bad experience equals to £13,000. And that's where it is. The devil's in the detail. The more you dig, the more you find out that how important it is to keep those relationships and your clients happy, even in the short term, if you end up losing money a little bit or even breaking even, because in the long run, it's all going to come back. They might either spend more or they might end up referring you to a bigger fish, which will just cover up, and it all comes out in the wash at the end of year reports. But anyway, I'm not going to talk too much on that. Last 2 questions, gents. James, you mentioned something about Conversion Collective, this community, and I noticed Jamie's on it as well. And I'm sure my audience would love to know about it. I've scanned it. It seems really, really interesting, and I think some extremely clever people are there. Can you tell us more on how my audience can perhaps become part of that?
Sure. So me and Jamie decided to start this community because obviously with all the recent updates and all the pivoting what we're doing, we wanted to build a community where everyone can share like new tactics and what's happening, what's working. And that's kind of how it came about. So me, Jamie, and we've got a community manager as well. And then we've got a fair few people. And the whole goal of it is we've got mainly SEO people, affiliate marketing people, and site owners. But we want to expand to obviously e-com, SaaS. So there is a lot of SaaS people in there as well. But the goal is to basically do that. And everyone can share different tactics, link building tactics, on-page tactics, and just general revenue, money-making online tactics. And everyone come together with that. And we've already found quite a few nice things with everyone coming together, which is good.
Brilliant. And I believe personally, I think your USP there, because there are too many communities out there. So why would someone join yours? Is because people pay a small annual fee. That means the people who are coming in are the ones who really can help you, connect you, give you a knowledge nugget in order to change your business, either save $5,000 from your cost. So what I'm saying, it's like a mini conference happening 24/7, so to speak, because obviously people have a little fee to pay. Is that correct? Is that what I think what's going on as a USP?
Yeah, like I think with these like the monthly things, I feel like you can like not fully like engage because you're like, I can cancel this any month. So it's almost like we would have made it free, but like it would decrease the value of the conversation because everyone would take it for granted, and there has to be like you have to like you know, like when you shake someone's hand, you become blood brothers, and you make yourself bleed a little bit, and so you have to like deal with the like you have to put something on the line, and so like it just makes people, especially it's annual, you know, you got to commit for a whole year, and so you get over the starting line, and now we're a community that's engaging and learning and sharing information that means that everyone can go and do the best thing for them. And so, yeah, like, when like even on free platforms like Twitter, the quality of the information can be like muddied with the noise from everyone talking shit and no one actually knowing what they're doing and everyone regurgitating what works. And so I prefer to work with people that are testing and working and figuring out what works, because we can all come together and figure out what is the right answer. And it's a way of keeping the value and level of conversation really high. We've got some course content in there for people who are looking to pivot and like build, like, for example, a lot of people come from the legacy sort of ads, display ads world, and I'm telling people like, really, that's just not a long-term solution, because as page views get harder and harder to get, and you're not monetizing them on a higher revenue per page view level, it's going to be tricky. And so we're advising people on how to build products, funnels related to those, as well as growing a brand across like other socials and stuff like that as well. And so I'm having fun with the community. It's fun creating stuff. It's fun hearing new things from people who are also testing stuff. And it's a way of like, when we haven't got that much time, you want your information sources to come from the highest quality sources of information. Correct. You want to be a beacon, but get the best shit. And so this is a way of designing our experience around that, to be able to share it with other like really high intelligence people who are sharing really great stuff, and make sure that we accelerate our learning and make sure we're ahead of the curve and share what we're learning as well, so other people can as well.
Correct. Knowledge is gold. It does have a cost attached to it. Otherwise, everyone would be Elon Musk and everyone would be a billionaire by the end of 2024. So I completely get that. I think that's a wise move what you gents have done. Last question for Jamie. And this has been on my mind for a very long time. So, mate, your name, Jamie I.F. What is IF?
Do you not know? Have I not told you? Did I not tell you in Poland? Oh.
Nope.
At 100K.
You probably told each other and forgot.
Look, most people know who have met me in real life. I don't ever hide it if people ask in real life. But you have to meet me in real life to know, and I'll reveal it to the world when I get 100K followers. So 80 more thousand, and then I'll reveal it. So everyone follow me on my socials, and then we'll get there, and then I'll reveal it. But no, most people know. It's more wholesome than people think. It's not. My real name does not begin with an I or an F. My real surname begins with the letter D. And so it's not like my real name. But it's honestly, I like it. It means that I get to like separate my personal and business life away. And it's a project that when I make 100 million, I'll start on. But until then, the grind never stops. I'll tell you off camera, Stephen. And if anyone wants to meet me in real life, I'll happily tell you when I see you.
There you go, guys. That's a good hook, just to know what's going on with Jamie's last name there, because clearly there's some probably spicy stories hidden in there. But after this podcast, mate, I'm going to call you or I'll text you. I do want to know, because weirdly enough, I've never asked you, and you've just said you thought I knew about it. But anyways, gents, it's been amazing, fascinating. It's been a really good chat. I think the audience would really, really value. I think you've dropped in some real good knowledge bombs. I think the key takeaways from me, there is still a lot of life in affiliate marketing. And then if you want to learn more, please join James and Jamie's online community, which is the Conversion Collective.
There we go. Got it second time round.
It's just the age, the grey hair, short-term memory loss is beginning to kick in. But gents, you have a lovely day ahead. I'll be in touch. But I'm assuming if people want to have a chat with you, apart from Conversion Collective, what you guys have your LinkedIn profiles and stuff like that.
Yeah, Twitter, LinkedIn, newsletter, all the good stuff. YouTube, all the fun places to find us at.
Excellent. Brilliant. Excellent, guys. Cheers then. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.